Welcome to the third installment of our Cooking For series. I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service, your family and consumer science agent. So for this series, we've been talking about some of the tips and tricks, things that can kind of throw us off when we talk about cooking and being prepared for things. And so we talked about cooking for one or two people. We talked about if we have to cook for a large group or gathering. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about cooking for the entire month. So, it sounds a little daunting, but it is a doable thing, can help you provide nutritional meals for your family throughout the month. You can do 2 weeks at a time, you can do a full month. You're gonna need to plan for about a full day if you're gonna prepare meals for the entire month. Then you can post that calendar and know what you're gonna be eating, have everything together and ready, ensure that you have things on hand that your family will enjoy, things that they like and want to have. You can even try out maybe some new recipes that freeze well, things that you're going to be able to put away. So this is something that a lot of people do. It's a great option for ensuring when you were so busy during the week, we're so busy throughout the month with all of our activities and things that are going on, but to ensure that you have something in place where your family can sit down and enjoy a meal together. So here's some of the things you need to consider to start off with. Number one, clean out your freezer. Make sure you're gonna have room. If we're gonna spend a whole day prepping food, we need a place to put it when we're done. Make sure you have on hand some basic things, your aluminum foil, cling wraps, plastic wrap to put around things, bags, okay, your freezer safe bags. This is a gallon, this is a quart, depending on how much of something and what size servings you're gonna wanna put away. Again, depends what size group you're feeding. You're gonna need to have a couple of varying sizes to put that stuff together. So having those things, first you're gonna need to pick your recipes. So we wanna think about things that are going to freeze well. Then we're gonna think about how do we make that a little bit healthier. So for instance, we know a lot of our meats, poultry, fish, those things will usually freeze well, even if you put them into a casserole, enchiladas, something along those lines. We want to make sure we're using the lean. If we're doing ground beef, we want to make sure we have it drained really well so that we're not adding a bunch of extra fat into that. Also adding a bunch of extra sodium or those things, use your herbs, use your spices, salt things to taste when you take them out and serve them as opposed to adding a bunch into that recipe to put it away. So along with that, there's a lot of vegetables that especially once cooked will feed really well. If you make something that's really big and like we made the lasagna rolls last time and we talked about that. If we make a giant lasagna, well, guess what? We can freeze half of that and now we've got 2 meals put together that we can use. So thinking about those things is gonna be important. And the nice thing about it, again, is you can adapt all of those ingredients. Soups, stews do really well. Baked goods, breads, things that you can put up that you just don't have time maybe to bake a little something during the week, but we've got it in the freezer, we pull that out, thaw it, and we're good to go. So think about what those things are that freeze well, pick those recipes, make a list. Start making your shopping list. What's it gonna take to have and do this? Is this something we're gonna eat twice? Do I have 4 things throughout the month that are gonna have ground beef? Well, now I can buy the bigger package that's gonna save me some money, prep it all at once, or even just divide it out after I get it home and go ahead and freeze it, even if I'm freezing it raw, but have it frozen so that I've got that ready to do. Okay, and as with any kind of meat, we don't want to refreeze something that came frozen to start with until we've cooked it. Once it's cooked, then you can freeze it. So we wanna make sure that we have those things done, that we wrap them well, that we have them tight, and then we label them with what they are when we put them in there, and some basic instructions for how to take them out. How nice would it be to call home from work and tell one of the kids, hey, grab this out of the freezer, follow the instructions on the top. They can pop it in the oven and you get home and it's ready because you took that day, that half a day, to put everything together and have a plan for the month. Okay, but so those planning pieces are key if this is what you're gonna wanna do. So you're gonna have your shopping list, make sure that then when you go to the store, take your list. It's very easy sometimes to set those down on the counter and get there without it. And for this type of shopping, this type of meal prep, where we need to be prepared, that list is gonna be very important because the odds of us forgetting something, really an important thing. When you make that list, check your pantry, check your freezer, check your refrigerator and see what do I already have that I haven't used yet that's not expired, check in those dates, that I can go ahead and put into preparing this food for the month. Chances are you've got some things there that you've pushed to the back of the cupboard and just kind of forgotten about that'd be nice to use and not have to dispose of later. So then plan that day, the half day, the full day, whatever you've got to put toward it, and get cooking. Invite friends over. Share with other families. Hey, if you bring stuff for these 3 recipes, I will bring stuff for these 3 recipes. We will work together. Everyone, how fun to spend that time together, and then everyone has things to take home, put in the freezer, and feed their family for the rest of the month. So the recipe I've chosen to share with you today is a basic shepherd's pie. Now, I know from doing a little research, typically a shepherd's pie is lamb. We, in this part of the country, will substitute beef for the lamb, which traditionalists will say is actually cottage pie, not shepherd's pie. Here's the thing. Meat, vegetables, potatoes. That's the part you need to remember. So when we talk about a shepherd's pie, that's what we're referring to. This recipe is actually very simple. I used a lot of pre-prepared stuff to actually put it together. You can make everything from scratch, or you can start kind of there. And so what we have here, this is ground beef, your pound of ground beef. It's browned with some chopped onion, okay, drained really well, get all that fat out of there. Then we've added frozen vegetables. This is mixed vegetables, so I've got peas and corn and carrots and green beans and all of that mixed in there. Take your frozen bag of vegetables, let them thaw, throw them in here when you've got your meat and your onions ready, and then we're gonna add some gravy. Now, I just purchased a can that was beef gravy. You can buy it in a jar. You can make your own at home if that's something that you do. Some people put up gravy and keep it in the freezer. Pull that out, add it to your beef mixture. So that's kind of all that you have to have in there. Salt and pepper to taste, whatever special seasoning, something that you like, add that. Then for our topping, we're gonna have mashed potatoes. Again, you can buy, use the box mashed potatoes, you can buy already made mashed potatoes, you can actually mash potatoes, whatever it is that works for you. Prep your potatoes, about 4 cups. Then we're gonna add about 4 ounces or a half, usually that's a half of a container of your cream cheese. So we're gonna put that in there, and we're gonna put some whatever type of cheese you like. What I have here today is cheddar, got shredded cheddar cheese in there. Heat this up if you're cooking it on the stove, making your potatoes, everything's hot. Get it in there so that it's good and combined. And so it might take a little heat to do that with your cream cheese and your potatoes. That's gonna give it a little more density. If you feel like this is too thick to go on top, you can add a little hot milk to that to get it to spread. This one actually looks pretty good for what we're gonna do. So for what we have prepared here, this will actually make 2 of the pie size. So I have our pie plates out. So you could have one to bake now and eat, one to wrap up good and put in the freezer, or you can use your larger 9x13 actual rectangle pan and just make one big pie, which you can also then put go ahead and bake or wrap well to put in the freezer. If you're gonna freeze a lot of things, obviously we don't necessarily wanna freeze our glass pie pans. That's what I had out today because they show the best, but you might purchase your some inexpensive metal ones or the aluminum ones that you can cook with and then dispose of, whatever works for you. So then to make the pie, we've got all of our ingredients, all of our content together. And so we're gonna take about half of our meat mixture and put it in each pan. We'll see how even I get it. If you're really particular about it, you can always legitimately measure to make sure. The big thing for us is gonna make sure that we've got it covered. Okay, that the bottom of our pan is gonna be covered. And then we're gonna just set that back aside. So now we have our 2 meat pies, shepherd's, cottage, whatever you wanna call them. And we're gonna do the same thing with our potato mixture. We're gonna take half of it for each one. And I may not even need all of it. Okay, because like I said, we started out with about 4 cups of mashed potatoes. And then we're gonna smooth that out, picking up all of my beef instead of my potatoes, across the top. Okay, now again, once we bake this, because that cream cheese is mixed in there with our other cheese and our mashed potatoes, that's gonna firm up across the top, making that crust for us. That gravy and our vegetables are gonna hold up with our meat. And that's gonna give us the structure to our pie. Okay, so now we have them both put together. Then we're gonna sprinkle our cheese on top. Again, this is cheddar. You can choose whatever kind of cheese you like, whatever you have on hand. Maybe you bought a big bag to make several things. You saw we did the lasagna rolls and some other stuff. Maybe you want to use that mozzarella. Any of that's fine, whatever your family prefers. So now, if I do want to freeze this is a dish that will freeze well. I'm going to take basic plastic wrap and I'm going to wrap it really, really tight. That's part of what's going to keep that freezer burn out of there. Especially, again, my intent is to use this within the next several weeks. I'm not going to let this sit in the freezer. You could leave it probably a couple of months, but that's not really our intent. Maybe we're going to freeze both of these and we're going to have one this month and one next month. But we've got it made and we've prepped it ahead. And now we've also cooked all of that ground beef that we can use to make several other dishes, pop in the freezer and have ready to go. We're gonna wrap it with the plastic and then also a nice tight layer of foil over the top of that. Again, we want it sealed well, we want to keep the freezer burn out, we want to make sure that it stays as fresh as possible. So then when we take it out of the freezer, we're going to sit in the fridge and let it thaw in the fridge. Maybe we take it out the day before so that it thaws in the fridge, and then we'll be able to take it and put it in the oven and bake it. So with these, you're going to bake them at, if you're baking it right now, or when you take it out and let it thaw, at 375 for about 20 minutes, okay? And that's gonna let it get all good and together. Now, once you have made these, before you put them in the freezer, you wanna put them in the fridge and let them cool all the way through. Because you wanna make sure you're not putting something that's still warm in the middle in the freezer where the outer temperature drops and the internal temperature doesn't, and then you have a problem with that bacteria growing. So we just wanna make sure that we do that we have it good and chilled. We put it in the freezer, then we take it out of the freezer, give it ample time to thaw, remove all of that wrapping, pop it in the oven. If it's coming straight out of the fridge into the oven where it's kind of cold, it may take it a little longer to cook, but you can be aware of that. You want to heat it back to that internal temperature of 165 to make sure that all of your meat and everything is appropriately cooked to avoid any problems with bacteria. So hopefully this has given you some ideas, some things you can start with to plan and cook for an entire month or a couple of weeks, but to set aside that time early so that once you get busy and things are really going, you have more time to sit and enjoy a meal with your family, okay? And provide them with a nutritious dish covering multiple food groups and having those things available for them, and make sure that it's safe. I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service. This has been the third installment of Cooking For. We have one more to go. I hope you'll join me back.